All right, welcome everybody. We're going to get started very soon, so if people could kind of start making their way up to the seats, that would be great.
Yeah, it's comfortable, it's casual, it's not taking a while. They're picking beasties, the kids are picking up beasties.
Have you two been? No, I haven't either. It's so cute. It's adorable.
Nothing. We're just, we're going to get started
Go
soon.
ahead.
Okay, cool. Good. All right, well, welcome everybody to Zenith Bookstore. My name is Bob Dubrow. My wife Angel, who's in the back there, and myself are the owners of the store. And this month we're celebrating our first birthday.
Yay!
It's our anniversary. Thank you. And we couldn't be happier with how everything's going and the support we're getting in the community. If this is the first time in the store, there's a bathroom down this aisle, and we have two doors. One goes out into the parking lot and one out to Central Avenue. If you're not on our mailing list, we invite you to do that, to sign up. We have a newsletter, an email newsletter that gets sent out every month with book recommendation, news of author events coming up. There's usually a coupon and things like that, so we invite you to do that. We have our schedule coming up for the rest of the summer and the fall is very exciting. But I don't want to take the time now to tell you about it, but just invite you to check out our website, zenithbookstore.com, and see all the things we have planned. Tonight we are thrilled to welcome back to Zenith Bookstore one of our biggest supporters, Sarah Bamford Seidelmann. So Sarah describes herself as a fourth-generation board-certified physician turned shamanic healer and life coach. She is the author of Born to Freak and Swimming with Elephants, her penultimate book, love using that word, which was on the Midwest Indie bestseller list for several weeks. We're thrilled to be able to host the launch of her latest, the Book of Beasties. And so without further ado, I give you Sarah.
I'm going to attempt to use this, hold on to it. So grateful for Bob and Angel for having this amazing store, just this incredible community around books. It's just a wonderful place to come, go to Beaner's, get a coffee or lunch, and then come here and browse and find wonderful things to read. So thrilled that you guys are all here, and this book is really kind of came out of a love affair that I have that I discovered began about 10 years ago, or more like 8 years ago. Some of you may have read Swimming with Elephants and know that I was in medicine, and I sort of went into this period where I felt less engaged with my work, and it was very upsetting because when you're a pathologist, my job as a physician was to be a disease hunter and look for disease, and I became less interested in that and started being more curious about what makes people well, which is all fine and good, except for that if you're getting paid to sit chained to a chair to look for disease, it became more and more uncomfortable. And so eventually, with the help of a wonderful life coach, which I talk all about that sort of part of my life in the book Swimming with Elephants, I ended up taking a sabbatical, which turned out to be a pretty radical thing. It started out as 3 months, and then eventually extended it to 6. But during that time, I started spending more time out in nature. And it was kind of interesting. I started feeling a lot better. And I think I didn't realize how nature-starved I was. I mean, getting up in the dark, putting the kids to daycare, going back to work, spending all day indoors, repeating the whole thing all over, especially in the winter. I mean, many of you know when you work, it's just, and you have kids, and we had 4 little kids at the time. They're all getting older now, but it was just a really sort of nature-starved life I'd been living, I realized. And during that summer, I was feeling very confused and very cranky. Some of my friends will tell you I was not that pleasant to be around during that period. They didn't tell me at the time, thank goodness. It was months later. It's good to have honest friends. And anyway, I stumbled into this ancient idea that's sort of universal, and you know wherever you look on the globe, you'll find it, especially in the indigenous communities, that if a wild animal crosses your path, you should pay attention because it might have a message for you, something very important. And at the time, I was like, that sounds crazy, and like, if that's true, like, why hasn't somebody told me that? And I was so kind of just lost and confused that I really didn't have any better ideas, and so I thought, well, I'm just gonna try and play with this and see if there's something to this. And as I began to play with the concept, I realized there was a strange power to it, and then I kind of got bold and shared it with some of my friends who were, again, professionals, highly educated, attorneys, physicians, all these things, you know, intellectual people. And that weekend, they were all like, whoa, this stuff is deep and it's really good. And I was like, whoa, okay, so maybe I'm not completely crazy. This seems to have some kind of strange effect on other people too. Like they're discovering things about themselves and realizing truths about their life and the direction that it needs to take.